So welcome back to Alliance Review. As I mentioned in my prior video, I've been working on a side project that really started out just me wanting to keep track of all the different cards and then being able to split them out if I decide to do that at a later date. So that's how this started, and it kind of took off from there. So you can see here my first sheet in here for the Hero Quest was nothing but all the different cards you get in the different quest packs. And then it kind of moved on to quest treasures. The ideal here being that if a hero died during the quest, I would give them a little allowance when they started their new hero, just so that they could buy some upgraded equipment so they could catch up with the other heroes, so they weren't getting left behind. Of course, it gets a little tricky the later you get into these quests because the money starts to go up quite a bit. The offset to that, of course, would be hiring mercenaries and buying potions because quests do get tougher at that point, and it's harder for the heroes to stay alive. And then, of course, armory is just the items you can buy there, potions, same kind of deal here. Rule updates, just try to keep track of those. Then locations and characters are really started off just as locations because I wanted to kind of come up with an idea for a map. And then I thought, well, hey, it would be kind of cool to keep track of all the different characters they introduce throughout the quest books and quest packs. And then that kind of led to the story lore. But, all that's just kind of me trying to give some type of lore for HeroQuest. So what happened was I was actually doing this, and I'm only trying to use what has been brought out for the new version of HeroQuest. I mean, obviously, old HeroQuest, you can use the Warhammer universe to kind of figure out where everything is at. But with the new version, they've supposedly kind of went away from that, and I tried to do it based on what they've had, which is actually not that easy. So I started to do it here just to give me an idea where everything should be located, or at least where in my mind it should be. And then that kind of led to maps. So I went to this site, Incarnate, I guess is the way you say that. And they let you do free maps there, but when you're doing free maps, you don't get a whole lot of options to do do it. So it'll come out kind of cartoonish, I guess, but it's not too bad if you want to make a map for your world. So this was my first shot at it, and then I started rereading things, and then I realized that this really didn't make a lot of sense, and I had to come up with a different version of it. So I did that. Let's see, it's actually my later map, not my previous one, but I ended up with this one, the realm, just feeling like it should be centralized, and then everything happening around it. So, one thing that tripped me up is the Borderlands, because I guess I always thought of the Borderlands being north, and then Crypt of Darkness, it kind of mentions it being south, and then in the ending of the original quest book, it mentions the uh, king riding out with the army going through Darkfire Pass. The only way that connects the realm to the borderlands. So it kind of made it even more difficult. And it was like, well, does that mean that there's no way around it? I guess there really should be, but uh, that then made me end up being putting Keller's Keep over here. So, I'm kind of working on that and trying to figure out whether or not this makes sense the way I have it set it up here. Plains of Death and the ruined city of Kalos being out there, that I kind of just did thinking of that more like a perhaps desert. Jungles of Deltharak being also south. Don't have any good jungle trees in the free version of this, so don't have any trees in there right now. Um, the Elithorn Kingdom, of course, up here, Northlands and Ice Mountain, where the heroes go for frozen horror. The northern Dread Waste was mentioned along with Dark Mountains. So yeah, I've been kind of going through here trying to figure out where everything should be, like the ogres. And I actually ended up, it looks like a lot of it ends up happening over here in the east. So um, perhaps that makes sense. But uh, it does kind of give the appearance of dread forces working their way around the realm and putting the squeeze on them, kind of. So that's where I'm at with it right now. I will put a link for the spreadsheet that I have. I think I could share these maps too if anyone's interested, but you can always head over there and create your own as well. Use your imagination, maybe read through the books, get some ideas. Maybe you'll interpret it differently and create your own version of it. But there's just some ideas I had. So there you have it. Hope you enjoyed and enjoy the holidays. Talk to you all again, hopefully sooner than later. Bye bye.